Hello everybody, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Gem, and I got a big ass problem of never finishing a single fucking thing that I start. Um, and it's something that's always harrowed me a bit, fucking hollows out the soul, because you spend for ages working on things. I've always been the kind of person who I have to have projects. I have to have at least a couple of projects going, and I think that's also been a bit of a problem. Is that I always have too many projects. I have too many projects. I'm still not particularly familiar with talking to cameras, so this is a bit touch and go. I got a handy dandy list here of dot points. When I first tried doing this video, I tried like scripting it, and I was like, I sound like a fucking robot. This isn't working very well. So now I'm trying dot points, and it's also not working well. So I don't know what the secret is. This is difficult. I would highly recommend giving it a go because it kind of shows you how hard it is, and now I have a lot of respect for people that do YouTube videos. So one of my things with projects, a couple of things with projects is that I burn the fuck out. I have a very obsessive personality, which isn't my favorite part about myself because it doesn't just burn me out, it burns out the people around me. And like, oh fuck, I got so many memories of like even going back to primary school. I got this one real good friend, Slothman, and like he put up with so much of my shit because like I would just become obsessed with things. And like there was one time where I just discovered frogs and I was like, these are the fucking greatest thing in the world. And for the next 2 years, like all I would talk about was frogs. And that was kind of cool because he got on board and he was like, yeah, frogs are the fucking best. But then when I got into other obsessions, he's like, oh, like I don't care about Warhammer, man. Like, please stop talking to me about it. I'm like, I can't. So one of the big things for me is learning to not burn out. Another thing is shiny object syndrome. I don't know if that's actually like a condition. If I've just like taken a colloquial thing and been like, this is a thing, when actually it could actually be some crazy thing that turns your bones into metal that I don't know about. But yeah, shiny object thing where I'll be doing a project and I'll get to a point in the project where it's sometimes even nearly completed. Like there's just one final step. It's the equivalent of like you've spent all this time building this furniture. All you got to do is fucking paint it or polish it. And then you can show it to the world and it'll be amazing. But you don't. Instead, you're just like, but look at that thing over there. I'm going to go do that thing over there. And so you just end up with all this fucking crap that's like anywhere between 10 to 90% completed. Just project hopping. And it's got me nowhere. If anything, all it's built is my anxiety. And also never refining stuff. Like I've never, like if I'm writing a story, I never end up editing it. For a lot of artworks I do, I don't go back over and sort of look at what doesn't fit or what bits don't make sense. So I've spent like my whole life just drawing anatomically incorrect things and not even styling it so it looks good. It just looks like someone's fucking arm is coming out of the side of their head. And like I've been drawing for as long as I can remember, and I've really only realized this year that the way I've always done it is kind of like the least productive way to do it because I don't ever really practice the fundamentals, and it turns out foundations are important. Who'd have thunk? And so yeah, I've kind of come to a realization that I need to get my shit together. I need to actually start doing things in a way that is productive, where I can feel like I've done something. I got married a couple of months ago, and I'd really like to have kids in a couple of years. It's something that's starting to actually happen. It's kind of weird. Like my whole life's kind of just fallen into place in really strange ways, which is amazing. It's fucking phenomenal. It's my life has not been this good before. So this is fucking awesome. And so also I feel like this is the perfect time to actually get my shit together. I have a mental clarity that I haven't had since I was 12. Yeah, so now I'm at a point where I just want to build something that is something that I can be proud of. And not just that, something that like my kids could be proud of. And if anything, God forbid, happened to me and I died before they grew up, they could look back at this thing and be like, whoa, shit, like that's the sort of stuff my dad did. That's cool. Like, and being able to show parts of my personality through the stuff that I create, I think is a really good way to show a lot of people how I feel about the world through a bit of an abstract medium. But yeah, I came to a realization a couple of months ago that if I don't start doing this soon, I'm not going to do it. And, you know, I'm kicking myself for shit that I didn't finish 10 years ago. And what happens in another 10 years' time if I don't change what I'm doing now? What happens in 10 years' time where I got twice as much shit on my shoulders and less time to do the things that I want to do because, you know, like, fuck. All I've ever seen of people when they have kids is they pickle their insides with instant coffee and sleep becomes a distant memory. Like, I'm not going to have the capacity to do stuff as much as I'd like to, like I can now. Alright, you're going to have to excuse the scene change and the not fantastic lighting, but I am having computer problems and I'm going to stay in bed for that. And I think that is fair. So basically the project that I've come up with and I've decided that this is what I'm going to do is I want to create a fantasy world. I want to create a confined fantasy world that from that I can then put out a game and a graphic novel. So that's pretty much the goal, is the fantasy world, game, graphic novel. And I've already started working on a fair bit of the world that it's all set in. That's definitely the first step in this. And it's coming together a lot better than I was expecting. Especially because it's something that it's a style that I've just not done before. Everything I've done previously has been a lot more bleak. And there's obviously a massive amount to this. In order to make anything self-sustainable, you also do have to learn the business side of stuff, the marketing, the PR, the sales, all of that. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are like, no, you can't do something for the goal of making money. But at the same time, like, if I don't, I've always had a goal of being able to live off stuff that I make. And if I don't make stuff that I can't make a living off, then it's a bit of a conflict between those two thoughts, you know? And so ideally, like, I would like to be able to work for myself. And the more I can learn along the way, the more I can help other people learn how to do the same thing. Yeah, not entirely sure how to tie this video up. I didn't plan that far ahead. In my top points, I've only got like the first thing, so that's obviously lesson number 1 for Jeb. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video, is just sort of explaining where I'm at and why I'm at that stage. And yeah, so if you want to follow the process, if you want to see how it's all going, just subscribe or jump over onto fucking Instagram and follow me on that. Like, I'm going to be throwing up a lot more draft stuff on there. It's just the anti cakes. And like, I know this video hasn't been very concise in what I'm trying to say, but in all complete honesty, like, this video isn't for anyone else. This video is for me to learn how to make videos. Um, and to get my first one up, this is the equivalent of, you know, the batch that the baker burns, the first batch. So thanks heaps for anyone who's managed to watch the video until this point. Like, genuinely, thank you. Yeah.